I'm Kiara. I am a holistic coach specializing in helping women of the diaspora to heal their divine feminine and maintain mind, body, and spirit wellness. Today, I wanted to talk about divine feminine healing with regard to dark nights of the soul. So, a lot of times when we're about to level up, when we're initiating to a new level in our spiritual practice, and just overall when we're called to growth, we often go through these experiences that have been coined dark nights of the soul. And a lot of times they come through these initiatory periods within our lives. A lot of times people think that initiations only happen within certain types of practices and as a part of the process of becoming a part of certain spiritual practices. But we go through a myriad of initiations throughout our life. I went through an initiation when I became a Reiki practitioner, for example, and an additional initiation when I became a Reiki master teacher. There are different forms of practice, and sometimes our spiritual guides take us through initiatory periods as well. A lot of times with these initiatory periods though come these kind of really deep and heavy and sometimes overwhelming periods of shadow work, which often then are what we classify as like a dark night of the soul. And a lot of times it takes a lot of deep diving, doing a lot of work with what would be considered like your darker parts or the issues or concerns that you may have that are lying beneath the surface. And a lot of times too, especially if you're trying to practice ancestral spirituality, it involves a lot of deep shadow work with regard to your lineage and being able to heal certain patterns that may not necessarily have stemmed from you originally, but they're showing up in your reality now. And so I wanted to give people some steps on how to navigate these phases because as more and more people step into ancestral spirituality, you're a lot more prone to experience this. So, first off, I want to say that when you're navigating this, the overwhelm and the kind of like heaviness and a lot of times the grief, I want to normalize that because that's a big part of the journey. And a lot of times, especially if this period has been really brought to the forefront by your ancestors and your spiritual guides, you're going to have a lot of grief and also probably knowledge coming forth that you're trying to process that you may not have had before. A lot of times, this looks like a lot of historical knowledge, a lot of knowledge about your family's origins, a lot of knowledge about your family's trauma, a lot of knowledge about your family's history. And that can be overwhelming, especially if that's not knowledge that you know of beforehand. So, I really want to normalize that. And some things that you can do to navigate when this situation comes upon you and it is feeling this heavy is to intentionally create a safe space for exploration and for processing. Creating this safe space can look like making sure that the environment that you created has been imbued with sacred sensory experiences. So make sure that the space smells in a way that helps you to feel calm. Make sure it's clean. Make sure that you've utilized whatever herbs or essential oils that help to cultivate calmness, like lavender, chamomile, different types of plants, eucalyptus, but things that help to create calmness and mental and emotional clarity. Also, make sure that you're staying hydrated. We're 70% water, but a bunch of people do not like to drink water. Water helps to fortify, it helps to purify, and it also helps our brain and our body to function the way that it needs to. Staying hydrated is really important during times like that. Also, making sure that you're eating foods that are of higher vibration is really important during times like that. So when you're feeling really heavy, that's not necessarily the time to go for all the junk food and all the grease and all the unhome cooked meals and things of that nature. You really want to make sure that the energy that you are navigating with your food is the energy that you want to embody. And a lot of times that happens when we get to put our loving and our caring and our intentional energy into the food that we're consuming. So be really intentional with that. Also, create a space for you to be able to meditate so that you can process those thoughts. They have somewhere to go and you're not just sitting with that heavy amount of energy. Meditating gives you the opportunity to process thoughts. A lot of times people feel like they have to be thinking of nothing all the time when they meditate, but oftentimes meditation is the perfect opportunity to ask questions and to seek clarity. So I hope that these suggestions are really helpful to you as you're navigating this space. Something else that would also be potentially helpful is having a teacher that you can communicate with as you're navigating through this space, and also having community that you can be in as you're navigating this space, both of which I have access to. If you're looking for somebody to help you with navigating healing your divine feminine, I know what it's like to be striving to navigate that process and feeling frustrated with traditional methods. So I switched over to alternative methods and saw great success. I now offer that to my clients. You can find out more information about me at the link below. Additionally, I have what is called the Energetically Aligned Healing Sisterhood. It's $9.99 a month, and we have a group of women that we meet weekly for an hour and a half. We talk about different elements of spirituality. We build community. We support each other. We talk about successes and challenges that we may be navigating and how we can benefit from support of one another. And you also get a WhatsApp group that you can communicate with these women whenever you would like to. And so you can also find out more information about that at the link below. And if you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to send me a message. And as always, if this resonated with you, don't hesitate to comment, like, and share. Y'all be well.